Welcome to the island, a beautiful vacation spot with scorching deserts, lush jungle, and smoldering wreckage. What's cracking, everybody? I'm MegapiemanPHD, and we're taking a quick peek at Dyscourse. Let's see here. Oh my. Dyscourse surprised me when I played it since it looked like it was going to be a survival game. After all, you are the survivor of a plane crash who is now trapped on a deserted island and put in charge of a group of other survivors. I thought it was going to be about exploring the environment, collecting resources, and managing your group of people. And it is, but not the way that I thought. Dyscourse is a choose-your-own-adventure game. It's very story-driven with your decisions directly impacting what's going on in the story, and can completely change the outcome each time you play it. It's not just what you do, but when you do it that's important to keep in mind. Dyscourse takes place over multiple days, and players can only do one or two things each day depending upon what options are available, such as deciding to search for water over building a rescue sign, or checking the plane wreckage over looking for water. Doing one of these tasks on, say, day 2 can cause different events to happen than what would have happened if you would have done it on day 1, or waited for day 3. This means that the game is open to a lot of experimentation as players try to find the optimal way to get through the game and keep as many people alive as possible. But Dyscourse makes experimenting with it a bit annoying. Like I said before, Dyscourse is a choose-your-own-adventure game, styled after the old choose-your-own-adventure books where you would read a bit, get a decision to make, then turn to a specific page to see the outcome of your decision. Due to this, Dyscourse has a lot of dialogue. Alchemy Labs didn't skimp out on lore or background information when you talked with people, for better or for worse. Around 80% of the time I found myself reading through text boxes since nothing is voice acted in this game. There's no way to really skip dialogue either outside of just mashing the spacebar as quickly as you can. Anytime you want to replay part of the game and make different decisions to see what will happen, you are going to have to sit through a lot of the exact same dialogue. While none of it is voice acted, each character does have their own unique gibberish sound effects for when they talk, and I found these to be very, very annoying. Thankfully, you can actually turn them off in the options menu as it has its own specific option, so thank you for that, Alchemy Labs. I'm not saying that dialogue is bad, though, because of course it's not. I found that characters not only react to each other well, but they also react to the situations that they're put in pretty well. Rarely do they do something that feels out of place or out of character, but the few times that they do, it's rather distracting. I've put 6 hours into the game so far, and I've yet to find a way to get through the game without at least one person dying. I don't even know if it's possible to save everyone. Depending upon who dies when can lead to some strange results, as some characters just don't react the way you expect them to. Take this gentleman for example. His wife just died, and it seems like he couldn't care less, which is out of character considering how he acted towards her before this point in the game. It's very jarring and throws me out of any immersion I was previously experiencing. This also happens with some of the more annoying characters. Dialogue overall switches between serious and comedic all the time, but some of the comedic relief characters, I just cannot wait for them to shut up. Take Garrett, for instance. Garrett is a gamer, and he lets you know that with almost every single line of dialogue he has. I mean, I get it. He plays video games. I do too, but I don't only talk about video games. Another example of this is Teddy. Teddy is a conspiracy theorist, and he's way more annoying than he is comedic. His paranoia and conspiracy ideas can be funny in some situations, but he just never shuts up, and it's almost like he was purposefully written to be annoying, which wouldn't necessarily be all that bad if the annoying slot wasn't already filled. Sometimes the game will actually allow you to walk around a bit and interact with things, but this doesn't happen all that often. Neither do the opportunities to really make decisions. When you do get the chance to make a decision, they always impact the game somehow, which is great. Many games try to advertise themselves as having meaningful choices to make, while very few really do. But everything that you pick, everything that you do in Dyscourse actually impacts the story overall, and I gotta love it for that. I just wish I spent more time making decisions or exploring the environment than reading text boxes. The reason why I want to explore the environment so much is that it is absolutely beautiful to look at. The unique graphics in Dyscourse definitely go a long way. Alchemy Labs has made a few titles in the past, such as Smuggle Truck and Jack Lumber, and they have a recognizable art style. While Dyscourse seems to favor angles a bit more than their previous titles, everything still looks great and the game has a really cool aesthetic with 2D objects in a 3D environment. The only thing that's visually wrong with the game are its animations, or should I say the lack of animations. I don't have much experience when it comes to animating, but I know tweens when I see them, and this game is chock full of them. Instead of frame-by-frame animations, characters are made up of different parts that are then rotated to show off movement, and this style of animating has always looked rather cheap. It's a shame because I think the art style could really lend itself well to some more traditional animation, but the developers just didn't decide to go in that direction. The game also has a fantastic soundtrack with around 77 different tracks. That is a lot of music! Music changes constantly in Dyscourse to fit the events that are taking place, but none of them are really hard cuts, meaning that each track transitions well into the other one. I've yet to hear anything that I've specifically not liked. Overall, Dyscourse is a very interesting game. It's got a great look as well as some good music. It's well written outside of a few things here and there, and the decisions you make actually affect the outcome of the game. It might take an hour or two to get through the game depending upon what decisions that you make, but there are so many different things that you can choose. After playing it for 6 hours, I can say that I still have not seen everything. It's also at a good price of $15.99, with a $24.99 special edition that includes the soundtrack, a documentary, as well as a digital art book. You can also just buy the soundtrack on its own for $9.99. There's even free DLC on the way with Indie Island, a version of the game that replaces the normal characters with indie developers. If you have any interest in choose-your-own adventure games, definitely give Dyscourse a shot. Thanks for watching. Please let me know what you think about the game or this video in the comment section. I've MegapieMan. I'll talk to you guys later. Wrong Number offers a degree of variety not seen in the first game, but with that variety comes complexity.